Boxing truth here. Nicholas Walters has finally came out of hiding after failed negotiations with Vasyl Lomachenko for a proposed fight in June of this year. Walters finally made some statements to the boxing media, confirming that the failed negotiations with Lomachenko had to do with money, that he was not willing to get trashed for only $500,000 against Lomachenko. He admitted that it wasn't worth the risk to fight Lomachenko for that type of money, considering that the only shot he could win was by knockout, saying that he wouldn't get a fair decision, a fair shake against Lomachenko. Bob Arum, although Bob Arum disputed that, saying that Lomachenko's not an American fighter, he's a foreigner. He would have been given a fair shake, but understands that Walters most likely will get schooled and outboxed. Probably most likely will get his ass whooped by Lomachenko. So Walters and his team decided to pass on the fight, knowing that there's no other alternative on the table, no lucrative alternative on the table. There's no other money fights out there, considering all the other guys are tied up for fights that can be made. So Walters is saying that, Lomachenko needs him. He needs his name because he hasn't beaten anybody yet, and that Walters throughout his career has beaten guys that he wasn't supposed to beat. But Walters is full of shit. I mean, look at his resume; it's pretty weak. I mean, who's he beat? Seriously. His best win is a knockout over a blown-up flyweight in Nonito Donaire. His two biggest wins are undersized guys, and a little past it as well, past their best days, especially Darchinian. The guy was way past his prime, and also 3 divisions above his best weight when Walters knocked him out. You look at the other names on his resume, I mean, it's not impressive at all. I mean, am I supposed to be impressed by that resume? He fought undersized guys. You arguably lost your last fight to Jason Sosa. Still thinks he clearly won the fight, but you just have to really be an astute ring observer to see through the bullshit, see through the dick riding commentating. Don't look at the punch stats and just watch the fight, and you can see that it was a very close competitive fight that actually scored for Jason Sosa. But anyways, the fight was a draw. Nicholas Walters has been on the shelf ever since. He hasn't fought since December of last year. There's really no plans for him to come back immediately, so he's gonna have to wait whenever HBO has something open for him. Did he violate any contract by turning down a fight with Lomachenko because of the lack of funds? No, he didn't. He didn't violate no contract. All he did was turn down a fight. But now he's gonna have to sit on the shelf for a while and wait for something to be open from HBO, because HBO has limited dates, they have a limited budget, and Walters, when he gets that call from HBO and Top Rank, he's probably not going to be very happy with the money that's going to be offered to him, considering he already just turned down his biggest payday, $550K. Would have got an extra $300K had he defeated Lomachenko, because Lomachenko was willing to pay him that money had he stepped into the ring with him and defeated him. So Walters is now waiting for a date, and though it's disappointing he's not fighting Lomachenko, I would have loved to have seen that fight, even though I believe Lomachenko is just too skilled, too good, too fast, and skillful for Walters to handle. It still would have been a great fight to watch, to see how Lomachenko can handle a big guy like that, who's a good puncher, not a devastating puncher, especially not at 130 pounds. But a guy that brings some pop, physicality, would have been a nice fight to see. But now that ship has sailed, so let's look at some of the alternative options. Now I'm looking at the list of 130 pounders. Now there are some good fights out there for Walters that I would like to see, to where he can prove that maybe his last fight was just a bad performance, maybe just an off night, that he actually arguably lost to Jason Sosa. who's actually not a bad fighter. But the alternatives out there are the winner between Francisco Vargas and Orlando Salido, which is still somehow going to go forward despite Vargas testing positive for a substance, but that's another story. That would be a great fight. I would love to see Walters against the winner of that fight, but both of those guys, I mean, they're going to fight in June. It's probably going to be a very tough, physically damaging fight, so they probably won't be available till the end of the year. So that's off the table for now. So how about other options out there? Let's see. I wouldn't mind Walters fighting the dude from Japan, Takashi Miura, the guy that just lost to Francisco Vargas. That'd be a good fight. That'd be an excellent fight to make. Is there any money in the fight? What money can be offered? Probably nowhere near what was offered for a Lomachenko bout, but I mean, Walter's not willing to take risks for $500,000. That's a risky fight as well for less money, so maybe it might not be possible. Let's see who else is out there. Uchiyama just got iced his last fight by Jerezzo Corrales in 2 rounds. He could be an option. I never heard of this guy prior to that fight, but that's his only significant win on his resume that I can see. He's from Panama. Now he's a world champion. He beat the longest reigning champion in the division. Knocked him down 3 times, just destroyed him. And now he's a WBA super champion in the division. He could be an option. But no one knows who he is. He fought in Japan to beat Uchiyama. So the one fight I would like to see though with Nicholas Walters is Javier Fortuna. Now, how possible can that fight be made? I'm not really sure. They were recently negotiating with Lomachenko, pretty much as a negotiating ploy in order to get Martinez to Roman Martinez to get on board to sign to fight Lomachenko. Now that fight's signed, sealed, and delivered. Also, the belt situation is resolved. It will be for the title. So Fortuna, he's advised by Al Heyman. He's been on a PBC card, but he has his own promoter in Samson Lukowicz. So I don't see why that fight can't be made, considering Fortuna has other representation in representing him as well. I would like to see that fight. Fortuna is an exciting fighter. Well, at times he can be. He can be in good fights. He's had some good knockouts, good performances. The only problem is he's been facing a lot of weak opposition in his career. It's been stalled. He hasn't really been fighting any world beaters. He had a solid win against Brian Vasquez, but he didn't look good. He's had some good knockout performances. He's been feasting on lower level opposition lately. Brian Vasquez is the best fighter he's fought recently. But I would like to see that fight. Fortuna holds the regular version of the WBA, so it would be for a strap, not the full world title, but a regular world title on the line. That's a good fight for Walters. I think Walters could catch Fortuna. Fortuna's a poor man's version of Maravilla. Kind of fights a lot like him, hands down, chin in the air. He's not as I wouldn't say he's that good defensively at all, though. With that style, he gets caught. He could be hurt. It's definitely a good fight for Walters, but how possible can it be made? Not really sure, since Fortuna is an Al Heyman advised client. But Walters is even though he's content with his decision to not fight Lomachenko because he pretty much admitted that he was going to get trashed, wasn't willing to get trashed for just $500,000. He's willing to take less for an easier fight, a fight he knows he could definitely win. Considering he said he can only win by knockout against Lomachenko, wouldn't get a decision. But he has to wait for a date now. That could be a couple of months. He might not be back in the ring until maybe July, the earliest, September, the latest. There are some fights out there for him, good fights for him, but nowhere near the money that he could have gotten for a Lomachenko fight. But he's made up his mind. He feels he's a fight that Lomachenko needs. I mean, it wouldn't hurt Lomachenko. I mean, it's definitely a fight that he could use, but most will feel that he beats Walters anyways. So, I mean, it's a great fight for Walters as well. So I don't see why career high purse, but maybe the fight can be marinated a little more. Say Walters gets a strap. If I'm top rank, I put him in with Fortuna. I think he could win that fight. Maybe he can't. I mean, it's a good fight. I mean, it's competitive. If not, what about the recent upset, the Corrales Jerezlik, the Panamanian fighter that just beat Uchiyama? That could be an option. And also Salido Vargas for the end of the year. But we'll see what's out there for Walters. There's still some good fights out there for him. He's still a fun fighter to watch, aggressive, throws a lot of punches. Hasn't displayed much power at 130 yet, but still some good fights to be made. If he was to pick up a strap, and also Lomachenko picks up a strap, maybe more money will be offered, a bigger license fee down the road. And also the winner of Salido Vargas is also a great option for both guys. So I'm not like holding out hope that the fight's not going to happen. Perhaps it could happen later in the year, maybe early next year, to where Walters is more satisfied with the money being offered, considering all the expenses he has to make, the payments to Uncle Sam, and considering that what Walters will leave with after all the expenses from that purse, maybe he's made the right decision to wait, or maybe he's made the wrong decision, considering that there's not many dates and that he has to still wait for something to be open for him. So he might not be able to fight more than just once this year, but the most 2 times. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Did Walters make a mistake? Should he have took the fight? Does the fight need to be marinated a little more? Do both guys need to pick up straps to 130 to perhaps get a bigger payday? Does the fight need to be built up more? This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.